Most people think survival means stockpiles, canned food, emergency plans. But in the 1930s, millions of Americans had none of that. No money, no jobs, no guarantee of their next meal. And yet, they survived. Not because they had food, but because they created it. From scraps, from nothing, from desperation. What you're about to see are 25 real foods that kept people alive during the Great Depression. Some will shock you, some will feel impossible, and some you might never forget. Because this wasn't cooking, this was survival. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand just how far people had to go just to eat. Let's begin. Number 25. Back then, coffee wasn't just a drink. It was comfort, routine, sanity. But when money disappeared, real coffee disappeared with it. So people adapted. They roasted dandelion roots. Yes, the same weeds you pull out of your yard. Cleaned, dried, roasted, ground. It didn't taste the same, but it was warm, bitter, familiar. And sometimes that was enough. This was not coffee. This was survival. Number 24. Milk was expensive, perishable, and often out of reach. So families made something called watered milk, a mix of real milk stretched with water. Sometimes flavored with sugar if they had it, sometimes not. Parents gave it to their children, hoping it would be enough, hoping they wouldn't notice. It wasn't nutrition, it was extension. Number 23. Bread was life. But even bread needed ingredients, flour, yeast, time. So people created depression bread. No yeast, no rising, just flour, water, maybe a pinch of salt. Flattened, cooked quickly, dense, heavy, almost lifeless. But it filled the stomach. And in those days, that was the goal. Number 22. Meat was rare. So people turned to something most wouldn't even consider today. Squirrel. Caught in backyards, forests, anywhere they could find one. Cooked slowly to soften the tough meat. Every part used, nothing wasted. For many families, this wasn't unusual, it was normal. This was not a choice, this was necessity. Number 21. Imagine being so hungry you look at weeds differently, not as plants, but as food. Wild greens became meals, dandelion leaves, lamb's quarters, nettles, boiled, sometimes fried, sometimes bitter, sometimes harsh, but full of nutrients, and more importantly, free. Number 20. There was a dish called Hoover stew, named after President Herbert Hoover during a time many blamed leadership for the crisis. This stew wasn't a recipe, it was whatever you had. Macaroni, hot dogs if you were lucky, canned tomatoes, thrown together. Cooked in large pots, often shared. It wasn't about taste, it was about feeding as many people as possible. Number 19. Sugar was a luxury, so desserts changed. People made vinegar pie. No fruit, no filling as you'd expect. Just vinegar, sugar, water, and flour. Baked into something that looked like lemon pie. Tasted close enough. It tricked the mind, and sometimes that was enough to keep hope alive. Number 18. When even basic ingredients ran out, people made something almost unthinkable. Mock apple pie. No apples, instead crackers. Broken up, mixed with sugar and spices, baked to resemble apple filling. And somehow it worked. Not perfectly, but enough to feel normal for a moment. Here's what no one tells you. These foods weren't just about hunger, they were about dignity, about parents trying to make something, anything for their children, about pretending, just for one meal, that everything was okay. But what comes next gets even harder. What you've seen so far, that was adaptation. But now, we move into something deeper. This is where survival stops looking like creativity and starts looking like desperation. Number 17. There was a time when even meat substitutes weren't available, so people turned to something simple: peanut butter. Not as a spread, as a meal. Mixed with bread if they had it, eaten straight from the jar if they didn't. High in calories, cheap, filling. For many families, this was dinner, not a snack. Dinner. This was not comfort food. This was fuel. Number 16. Soup kitchens became lifelines. Organizations like the Salvation Army served thousands daily, and one dish became iconic: thin soup, watered-down broth with scraps of vegetables, sometimes a few grains. No thickness, no richness, but it was hot, and it was free. People lined up for hours just for one bowl, because one bowl could mean another day alive. Cornmeal mush, simple, cheap, endless. Cornmeal boiled in water until thick, sometimes eaten plain, sometimes fried the next day, if there was a next day. It stuck to your ribs, gave energy, and most importantly, it lasted.